Welcome to the Monday edition of the SNews here at LonghornStation.com. We are the Wake Up Call. Ahmad Brooks, John Medani, along with David Anderson and Nellie Price. Today, we are discussing the worthiness, or the lack thereof, of TCU, ranked number 4 in the BCS. My partner seems to believe it's time to give them a chance.
Well, you know, just a few weeks ago, I made the point that only the big boys have played in the BCS Championship game since its inception in 1998. However, I'm starting to look at this TCU team. When you look at their schedule, they went to Virginia, took care of business in week 1. They went to Clemson, took care of business. They beat BYU at home, and then they won the biggest game of their year, 55-28 this past weekend versus Utah. Their toughest challenge on their schedule. I think now when you start looking at it, it was easy to push away a team like Boise State and Utah who don't have a lot of national championship tradition. TCU has 2 national championships. Even though it was in the 30s, I understand that. But I think it's hard to prevent a program like that from getting in once they have tradition. And they've obviously played opponents that makes them worthy of being in that spot.
I'm a big believer in the word fair. I like the fair word, but up to this point, everybody is talking about being fair to the have-nots, to TCU and to Boise State. I'm okay with that. How about being fair to the haves for a change? How about being fair to the teams and the guys that play the grind of an SEC schedule or a Big 12 schedule, etc.? Again, TCU does have impressive wins. I've always claimed that Boise States and Utahs and TCUs, they can get you. If they play you, and you look at what TCU did, they played Texas State. Sorry, our friends in San Marcos. They played Texas State to get ready for the Virginia game. Then they played another weak opponent. They played a weak opponent getting ready for the big game against Clemson. Then they had a couple of off weeks before the big game against BYU in Provo. I mean, it's the grind. It's the mental strain. It's the attrition you get through injuries and having to get up every single week for the next big game. That's what's missing from teams that play in the Mountain West Conference and the WAC for that reason. That's why I don't think, no matter what TCU thinks and no matter how worthy they believe they are not going to let them in this game. Texas and Florida and Alabama could all lose this week. TCU is not going to find its way into that game.
You can make the argument that TCU shouldn't be in that conference, and I think that's the point. I think this is the team that has separated itself from its peers in this conference, and I think this is the reason why people are talking about it, and this is the reason why they sent behind Texas in the BCS as number 4.
We'll see. I mean, one thing we do know, the BCS did not change this week. There weren't any big, colossal upsets 1 through 8 a week ago or 1 through 8 this week. We'll get a chance to see how things unfold coming up with this Saturday's schedule. Longhorns and Kansas will play on Senior Day this Saturday, 7 o'clock. Join us at Bevo Boulevard. Countdown to kickoff starting at 3. LonghornStation.com.